Hey y'all, Coach Ed here. Recently, I've been asking the question, what is the best way to test your body fat percentage at home? And so I'm going to answer that question here today, and there's some more information in the blog post itself. But really what I want to talk about is 2 to 3 methods that I personally like. So the key there is at home, right? We don't have a dunk tank at home, and we don't have the bod pod at home. What we have at home is typically some sort of a tape measure. We may have some calipers, and these are digital ones, and we may have some photos. And so there's a lot of different methods that you can use with a tape measure. I'm going to talk about one that I specifically like, and I'm also going to talk about the calipers. So first off, let's talk about the calipers. Okay, this method, I'm going to set this down for a moment. This method is fairly easy. Okay, and from what I've found, it is relatively accurate. Okay, what you do is you turn it on, and this is a Warrior digital body mass caliper. Okay, and you set your age, your gender, and your weight. Okay, three items in here, and then click it together. You do a measurement on your upper chest. You do a measurement right next to your navel, and you do another one on your thigh. Okay, and based on those 3 upper, middle, and lower measurements, it spits out what your body fat is and what your lean body mass is. Okay, when I did this, my body fat was around 9.8%. Okay. Second method is a covert Bailey method. Okay, and then with this one, you're using a tape measure, and I find that this is also an accurate method for at home again. With this, you want to get 4 measurements on your body. Okay, you want to get the measurements of your waist, of your hips, of your forearm, and of your wrist. Okay, and then there is a different calculation based on if you're over 30 or if you're under 30. Again, for male and for female, so 4 different calculations, if you will. And I'll put that in the blog post. But there's 4 different calculations that you would potentially use depending on your sex and your age. Okay, when I did the calculation for this method, my body fat percentage came up with a 96 or 9.6. So again, both are relatively accurate. What you're going to traditionally find is that within plus or minus 3 points is what your body fat is by using one of these methods. The most accurate way to be able to get something done from a body fat percentage is to go to either a dunk tank, which can sort of be a nuisance because you get all wet, or go to a bod pod and basically get air blown at you, and they do a density test on that way. The other things that you want to take into consideration when you are doing body fat percentage testing at home is, 1, you always want to do it at the same time. So very similar to your weigh-in, right? I recommend doing a weigh-in once a month. That weigh-in for myself is constantly done between 5:30 and 5:45 in the morning, 1 day a month. I do the same measurements from a body fat percentage perspective at that same time. And then the third thing that I do is I take photos again at that same time. And this is typically, I've just woken up, I've washed my face, brushed my teeth, and taken a pee. And then I go into doing all that. So I get an accurate measurement all the way along the lines. Okay? And then the third way that I mentioned early on in the video is you can actually take pictures and compare them to yourselves and to other pictures. So we've got images of what somebody with a 3% body fat looks like, and that's a bodybuilder style. We've got the athletic build that's, you know, between 5 and 8%, and then it goes up from there. But by comparing your photo to one of the other photos in a body fat percentage, where you know the individual is, let's say, an athletic build and has an athletic body fat percentage, then you can also see, judging visually, where you're at. So those are my tips there. Again, 3 different methods for measuring your body fat percentage at home. covert Bailey method, the calipers, and then a picture method. Hope this has helped. Hope the information has been useful. If you got any questions, comment down below, and we'll go from there. Thanks, everybody.